joining us. Welcome to the Influencers Journey Show. My name is Suzanne Hart, and beside me is the beautiful Taria Hodge. And we are unpacking. Do you have the courage to put your best into the marketplace? Or are you sitting in perfection, sitting in I got to get it right, and holding on to content rather than serving the people you are committed to serve? So, we're going to dive into, first of all, what is perfection? And this is such an interesting conversation because, I think oftentimes people think that perfection is getting things right. Perfection is doing your best. Perfection is paralysis analysis. It is when you are holding on to something and you just won't let it go because you have a fear of judgment, fear of getting it wrong, fear of not being good enough. It's a fear. I remember, Tria, when I was writing the book Leading with Character, and I had it edited, read it over, made some changes, sent it back, had it edited again, read it over, made some changes, sent it back. And I was in this loop of my own need to be perfect. Total fear. What if it's not good enough? What if people don't like it? What if no one reads it? What if someone makes a horrible comment? What if I'm not a good writer? All that stuff playing in my head. So what I did was I gave it to my sister. She did the final edit. She gave it to my assistant, and I told them, don't give it back to me. Send it right out to get it published and all the other things, all the stuff. Just send me the final copy because I couldn't let it go because I was in my perfection. Yeah. Now, I could have probably stayed in that loop if I didn't catch myself continually. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. So what's perfection for you? How does it show up?
Oh my gosh. Perfection shows up for me all over the place. Is that thing of you want everything to be perfect. You want the stars, the moon, the planets, everything to line up before you take that step and you make that move. And really, it's knowing that that's not what it's all about. It's about releasing. Go ahead, release it. Don't hold on to it. And I think this is the key part, and the key learn is knowing that you always have the opportunity to come back and make your best better. So, oftentimes we don't think about that. And I'm going back to the situation as us being course creators. So that's the thing. Sometimes we're in the mindset of we're creating these courses and we have this content that we want to put out there. And we're thinking like it's a one shot and done thing. Like we do it one time and it's supposed to be perfect. And then we never have to go ahead and revise it. And then all of a sudden, this is the thing that's going to make us rich, right? But when I take a look at all of the top influencers in the marketplace, they understand the concept of just going ahead and releasing it. And I think the key is putting on the radar when is the next time that you're going to do it. So don't wait until another year has passed, to release the program again. Are you going to release it again next quarter? Are you going to release it again the next 6 months? You have to have those things on your radar because it gives you the opportunity to take a look at, your best. So what are the things that you did that worked really well and the things that you need to improve on, and giving yourself the opportunity to grow in those areas?
It reminds me, I was sitting with a client and we're working on her program. And so we're in program development and all those different pieces. And I remember she said to me, I just want it to be perfect. I want to get it just right. And I said, okay, well, let me relieve you of that pressure right now. And I remember I said to her, I am in my 5th rewrite of my mastermind. And her eyes got big like saucers. And she was like, what? I said, I'm in my 5th rewrite. I said, because what we want to do is launch your best version right now.
Right.
Launch it, knowing that there's going to be changes, there's going to be rewrites, there's going to be edits, there's going to be additions, there's going to be things you're going to take out. And then I told her about our Unleash the Power of Your Story. And I said, we delivered it. We took some stuff out. We added some stuff. We delivered it again. We took some stuff out. We added some stuff. And there was so much relief, Taria,
Oh, yeah.
as she was like, oh, and that she goes, that's such a different way to look at it. I said, otherwise, it's so much pressure.
Gotcha.
And it reminds me a beautiful woman by the name of Dottie, I believe it's Dottie. She said to
Mm,
me, Suzanne, your next decision's not your last decision. And I went, ooh, that's deep.
yeah, I like that.
Your next choice is not your last choice.
Hmm.
And what she was saying was, choose. If it doesn't work out, you can correct, you can course correct, you can go again. It's not your last choice. And we relate to the launches of our program as our last choice.
Yes.
It's like, this is it.
Yeah.
So it's going to bring us right into our next question. And what's the difference between your best and perfection? And I really want everyone listening to really put their thoughts in the comment section,
Yeah.
because this is a deep question. It is a life-changing question. This is a conversation we had in our mastermind about a year ago. And it was interesting how people said, this is what people said, that if I did something and I didn't win or I didn't hit my goal, I didn't do my best. And I looked at them and I said, really? Is that
Mm.
how it works? And I said, because that's harsh. That's harsh. And they were, yeah, yeah. I said, so it's all about winning. It's all it's about. It's all just about winning. And it was such a great discussion. And I want to leave you guys with that before we go define it.
Yeah. You
But
know,
they were in like turmoil and a little upset with me because I said, no, that's not what your best is. So, Taria, shed some light.
because you're shifting mindset, and
That's
you're
my
you,
job.
and I love it because you always give us like a different perspective, a different way to look at stuff. And so as I think about this question, one of the things that's standing out for me is the thing that I've learned as a kid. So it's always good, better, best. And then they have best as the final. That's the
Hmm.
finality. And when you opened up the show this morning, you said there's good, best, and then better.
Hmm.
And I really think that that's what it is. So it's doing your best, always do your best, and then turn around and look for ways to make the best that you did even better. Now, here's the thing about perfection. Perfection implies, that's the word I'm looking for, it implies an end state. Like when something is perfect, it cannot, there's no more need for improvement. Nothing else can be done to it. But really and truly, is that how we go through life, or is that how we should be looking at life? I think we have an amazing opportunity when we take a look at things and we always ask the question, how can we make it better? And that's how we grow. And so when I take a look at it, it's really interesting to take a look at the two words and see how, all through life, we've had misunderstandings around what these words mean.
Are,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's the thing.
You know, I love language and I love dissecting it because it gives us power, right? When we rewrite words, we redefine words, or we understand the true definition of a word.
Right.
And so when we were having this conversation in the mastermind, one of the things I put to the group was that if you go to write your program, take the stage, and you leave it all on the mat. Like you give it your all. You know you have prepared, you know you've worked hard, you've done like you've used everything at your disposal in that moment. That is your best in the moment. And sometimes our best does not equal winning. So, in sports, they say you did your PB, your personal best. And sometimes you can do your PB and your PB isn't what
Yeah.
allows you to win the race, the game, the whatever. But athletes know that if they did their PB and they left it all,
Yeah.
then they're satisfied.
Yeah.
And so part of that is really the distinction between winning and putting our best into the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what you said, because our mindset conversation is always make your best better. And
Mm-hmm.
so launch and be committed to the journey
Right.
of best better. And I know this is what I get from this is my best today will grow and expand tomorrow. What was my best last year? Because I read 36 plus books, had a whole bunch of experiences, applied, learned, got the feedback, grew. My best of last year has grown. It's better. So my best today, I'm trusting, will be better next year. That's what we're talking about when we're saying put your best in the marketplace, is use everything you've got right now and put it in the marketplace. Now, this is the interesting thing about perfection. When I look at perfection, one of the things that I get is perfection is fear driven. I want
Well,
everyone to
I was just about to say that. Mm-hmm.
perfection is fear driven. And when I'm sitting in perfection, I'm sitting in fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting in looking good. But this is the thing that I really got when I started to dissect this word. When I'm sitting in perfection, I'm attempting to control the things I don't yet know. Ooh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah. Well,
And
really, that's what it is.
mhm, I'm also attempting to control the things I have no control over.
Yeah.
What will people think? What will they say? Will they think this is good enough? What if someone writes a horrible comment? What if someone doesn't like my program? Well, the reality is, those aren't the things I can control. That's where we go when we sit in perfection. But when we sit in best, we are actually going, I hope for the feedback.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward for what people are going to say. I'm looking forward to these things because this is the feedback loop that's
Yeah.
going to give me access to better. Very different. Perfection, I don't want the feedback. I just want you to tell me how brilliant, amazing, and awesome I am because I'm
That's the
so
good part.
caught in fear and fragile that I can't take it. That's perfection.
Yeah.
Best is I can take the feedback because I want to learn, grow, and expand. Now, Brene Brown has a quote that floored me. And you know, she's my girl. I have a girl crush on Brene Brown. I think she's brilliant. And she says, where perfection exists, shame is always lurking.
Mm.
I know, say Tria again. It's that,
Mm.
right? Where perfection exists, shame is always lurking, because shame is where we go when we're afraid of being found out.
Yeah.
And for many of us, why we hold on to it and we go for perfection is we're afraid of people not
Right.
seeing us in the way we want them to see us. We're afraid that they'll find out that we're not good enough,
Yeah.
that we aren't enough, that we're not smart enough, we're not talented enough. And best is trusting that you're enough right now in this moment. Not that you can't grow, but right now in this moment, you are enough and we're always enough. That's the distinction.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah, I love it. It really is powerful because once again, it's all in how we're sitting and we're holding stuff. So as you were talking, one of the things that came up for me, and we started unpacking words, is the words that we choose and the stories that we're telling ourselves, as we go through these experiences. And one of the things that stood out is the difference between criticism and feedback. So
Mhm.
one of the things that hold a lot of us back sometimes is because we're bracing ourselves for the criticism. So how many times have you heard that? Like, oh, this person is going to critique this. And when you hear the word critique, it's never like a positive
Yeah.
feeling, behind of it. It reminds me of teachers going through your reports with that red marker and just Xing everything out versus feedback. And if you look at it from the perspective of feedback, when you get feedback, the tendency is like, oh, okay, this happened, this is what it was, now what do I have to do to go ahead and improve upon it? And so you get excited, wanting to get the feedback. So like I said, it's all in the stories that we're telling ourselves in our mind and how we're holding things. And it's just that
Yeah.
one little shift in the words that you choose, in the stories that you're telling yourself, that allows you to move forward.
And it reminds me that no matter what I put out into the marketplace school, no matter what I put out there, I always say it's the world according to Suzanne.
Mm-hmm.
And I also recognize that other people are entitled and have
Mm-hmm.
a right to their perception and their point
Mm-hmm.
of view. Now, while I am open to hearing it, I'm open to trying it on, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean I have to move on it. And I think when we're talking about influencers and becoming an influencer, one of the pieces is influencers, I don't believe, sit in perfection. They sit in best, better.
Mm-hmm.
And what they are open to is the opinions,
Yeah.
perceptions, points of view of other people because it broadens them, it feeds them, it changes them, it stretches them. And that's really where our opportunities lie, right? So it's really kind of interesting. And again, it is language. And the thing that I've come to really understand is when someone is critical of me and they aren't loving, if you will, because someone can give me really hard feedback and be loving.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone is critical and they don't leave me what I call whole and complete, I I am less likely to give heed to what they're saying. Or it's going to take me a bit because the sting is more powerful than the message. Those are not the people that I've learned to be all that concerned about,
Mm.
right? Because oftentimes they're not my tribe. They're not my people. They're not the people I am interested in engaging. And so we every now and then we write a post and there'll be some comment and I'll be like, "Oh, interesting perspective." And anybody who knows me, when I say those words, interesting perspective, I'm like, I'm gonna bless and release that perspective.
Yeah.
Interesting. It doesn't mean it takes from me, nor did it add to me in that moment. It's just a point of view.
Yeah.
And they are entitled to it, even if it comes with a sting. Now, this is the thing I've also learned, Taria. It's a part of my inner work, part of the mindset work is to do enough work on me that even those messages that sting
Mm-hmm.
they don't flatten me
Yeah.
and they don't throw me into perfection because perfection is the defense mechanism
Yeah.
that shows up that has me defensive and now I need to show you I'm smarter, I'm bolder, I'm better, I'm this, and now you get into the banter and the argument and the this online. It really is okay. I mean, and I said interesting point of view, thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love it because that's one of the things that I'm just going to be totally, honest and transparent about. Like when I catch myself doing it, when I catch myself making everything about me, when it's all about me, and I feel I need to compare, like you just said, you say something, you give feedback, and then I feel I need to prove you wrong, and it's the I.
Yeah.
That's when I know I'm coming from that place of perfection rather than doing my best. And I think in a world according to Turia, this is this is what serving really means. Serving really means showing up and doing your best. And part of doing your best is to make it about the people who you are called to serve. And the commitment is always, to get better, because
Hmm.
there are people that you're going to touch no matter what level you're at. And I think that that's the thing that we get into our minds about, all the time. It's just like, oh my gosh, it has to be this way so I could, reach this. really, when you're just starting, you're going to touch people. As you grow, you're going to touch another set of people. And then as you continue to grow, your influence is also going to expand as well. So that's the job. The job is just to keep growing. Stay out of the
Absolutely.
eye, right? And think about the people that you're called to serve.
The next one point we want to cover is why failure and challenge are the catalyst for discovering your best.
Hmm.
Ooh, that's a great question. That's a great statement, like a great thing to explore. And one of the things I am truly grateful for is for our clients, the people, our tribe, the people that work with us.
Hmm.
And I say it often, is that our engagement with the people we serve is like iron sharpening iron.
Hmm.
And the reason I say that is when clients are challenged, they challenge me. When clients are growing, they grow me. When clients give us feedback, they make us better. When
Hmm.
clients ask tough questions, they expand us. When clients say that wasn't good enough, they send us back to the drawing board for rewriting. But I hold it as they're sharpening me. Iron sharpening iron. And the reason I say it like that, and we've talked about this often, is we're in a relationship with them. We're in a
Right.
relatedness. And 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 it's not a us and them relatedness. It's an equal footing relatedness where I come to the table with my gifts
Hmm.
and they come to the table with their gifts. And yes, right now they're hiring me to have me use my gifts to expand their gifts or make their gifts more visible. But there's still contribution, and it's the willingness to be in the dance of it all and allow your clients to ask the hard questions, ask you for more, tell you what the program needs, make up a program, and tell you this is what I think you should be
Yeah.
delivering.
Yeah.
All those things that make us better. And it's when we hit rock bottom, things don't work, we look bad, that when we get back up, we're in the place of finding our best. So for me, Sharia, I find my best I find better when I'm at the edge of myself, at the edge of my best. That moment where
Yeah.
I feel lost, confused, sometimes want to quit, feel discouraged. And when I keep moving, better always shows up. Like guaranteed, always shows up
Mm.
because she has to.
Yeah.
It's the better version of Suzanne. It's the expanded version of Suzanne. And I am grateful to our clients for providing that context and environment through who they be.
I love it. And one of the things as I listen to the question that I'm pondering is being able to reframe failure. And it's such a good thing. Like when
Mhm,
you get to the reframe of failure, and then you start to look at failure as a gift. Like it's
mhm.
really the secret gift that we have the opportunity,
Yeah.
to experience. And in that reframe is allowing ourselves to fail. So sometimes, I know I do, like I struggle against the feeling like, oh my God, I don't want to fail at this. I don't want to, I fail, I'm going to look bad. Right. But there's beauty in that. Like when we just, surrender. Okay. So
Mhm.
did I do my best, today? Did I do the best at that task or whatever it is, whatever goal that I'm going after? Do your best, fail. Because now, after you fail, then all of these wonderful opportunities now lay ahead of you. And these opportunities are areas for us to grow. So,
Mhm.
learning not to be paralyzed or be afraid of the failure. And so it's one of those things that I hear people say all the time, you're afraid of failure. Like, exactly what does it mean? And I'm really now coming to understand exactly what those words mean.
Yeah.
And, and the thing is every day, what am I going to fail at today? And how can I fail fast at it? Because once I do that, then I know the quicker I get to the lesson, the quicker I get to the
Yeah.
learn, right? The quicker I'm able to bless someone with the experience and the lessons.
One of my learns is that change does not happen without
Mhm.
conflict, failure, or challenge.
Yeah.
It's the precursor to change. It's the precursor to growth. It's the precursor to getting better. And, when you and I sit in an extended period of time where we're just coasting and feeling our Wheaties and all is perfect,
Yeah.
the reality is chances are you stop growing.
Mm.
And so for me, I was having a conversation and I was saying this journey is a constant dose of fear,
Oh, yeah.
a constant dose of excitement, a constant dose of courage, a big dose of humility,
Hmm.
and you wrap that all up and you take it with you as you take action.
Yep.
And
There you go.
and if those things aren't there, it's almost like, what's going on? Like, oh,
Yeah.
what? I wasn't required to be courageous at all this week. I didn't feel afraid. I didn't, it is those things that tell me I'm right where I'm supposed to be. This is the other interesting thing. It's also those things that make me feel the most alive,
You're right. Yes.
right? I'm the happiest and most alive when those things are present in the right amount.
Yeah.
Ah,